Hello. Hello, this is the My Artifact episode number 3840, maybe, yeah, 41. I'm not really sure. Today's date is January 25, 2026. It's been almost like morning at 10:23 a.m. It's been a little bit late today. Okay, let's just directly jump into the question. Okay, the question is, do I want to build a real community, or am I okay with having an audience? Oh, that's a really good question. All right, first of all, what exactly is this question and why am I asking this question to myself? This is kind of like a simply YouTube related question, a kind of like a something that key like, am I worthy enough to be called myself as a YouTuber or not? These are kind of like a question, like these are kind of like a question are kind of like give me realization that am I worthy enough to call myself as a YouTuber or not? One thing. Another thing is that कि when I am asking this kind of like a question, I am not I'm just kind of like understanding myself, but I'm not just understanding myself. I'm understanding regarding about, am I be that content creator? Am I be that particular person to create the content, or am I be that particular person that kind of like a something showcase my creativity in front of the people? Also, it kind of like understand me regarding about the YouTube and YouTube things and that. YouTube is a kind of like a feels really common, very easy, but it is not. It is definitely not. You just have to understand from every point of perspective regarding about you, regarding about execution, video execution, regarding about your content strategies and things and that. It's lot to know regarding about that stuff. Like basically, is this thing that key it's very easy to execute. Like basically you just have to shoot, edit and upload. That's it. You just become a YouTuber. That's it. But when you are kind of like a associate the tag as a YouTuber, it's a very different phenomenon. You just a lot. Okay, it's a lot. So that's why these I just want to understand that thing, and that's why I'm actually asking this question to understand myself that is it like basically is it kind of like something that I could understand myself or not regarding about this YouTube and things like that. All right, yeah. Now regarding about the question says that ki wait the question says that, do I want to build a real community, or am I okay with having just an audience? Now what exactly is this thing? What is exactly community and what is exactly audience? Okay, so I am actually kind of like understand this couple of things. Okay, so let's just say I am in the stage, okay, and there is a spotlight on me. Okay, so when there is a spotlight on me and there is hundreds of people are actually kind of like sitting there, so basically for me these are the audience. Okay, then I have a job to entertain them, or kind of like inspire them, or kind of like whatever, throughout my art and things and that. Because in this particular scenario, you are kind of like somebody doing a relationship as a person who is a kind of like somebody elaborating or things and that, and the audience. That's it. This is the only one relationship that you could kind of like somebody happen or structure in this kind of like a theater, specifically in theater. Okay, yeah. Basically is this thing, what I'm trying to tell you is this thing, in this particular scenario, the person who is kind of like a speaker and audience, this is only relationship is actually happened in this scenario. Okay, yeah. If you are don't know anyone who is kind of like a sitting beside of you and things and that, you don't know that thing, because it doesn't really matter at all. You are come to here to kind of like somebody listen something. Let's just say I went to listen a Hans Zimmer music. Okay, yeah. And like Hans Zimmer music. So I was in the concert. It's not even concert. It's a kind of like somebody opera music or things like that. Like basically this thing. I went to watch the Hans Zimmer music. So I'm kind of like sitting here. Okay, yeah. I don't know this guy. I don't know this guy. But I was kind of like fully immersed by the music of the Hans Zimmer make it and things and that. So I feel like really good. I feel like that ki wow. It feel like that ki great and things and that. Okay, yeah. And it is actually happened is because of that key. the music is feel really good, and I just like a get inside in the film, get inside that music. It's just like wow, it just felt like that really great. I don't know about who is this guy, who is this guy, and that. Okay, yeah. Now that is called a audience. Okay, that is called audience for the person who is kind of like a speaking. Okay, like basically that particular person who just have a kind of like a something, yeah, audience. Okay, and now let's talk about the community. Okay, yeah. uh, Community means like that, let's just say you hosted a dinner party. Okay, yeah, you hosted a dinner party and kind of like hundreds of people actually came. Okay, so when the hundreds of people actually came, so you don't really have a burden to kind of like assembly make sure everything happens something good and things and that. No, it's like that you invite people, people are came, people are not focusing on me, they are kind of like a talking to each other, they are kind of like a things and that. Okay, like let me give you the scenario. Okay, let's just say I am the Hans Zimmer. Okay, I am the musician, so it is my responsibility to entertain people every single time. For like I shouldn't supposed to be kind of like a take a break for a second. No, it is my responsibility to kind of like a entertain, because those people actually came to kind of like a buy the ticket and kind of like a came to my concert and things and that. So basically it's my job or my responsibility to kind of like a entertain them without having any kind of like a breaks and things and that. Okay, yeah. But when I kind of like invite those people into the kind of like a dinner party, then I don't really have any kind of like a things, I don't really have any kind of like a things that okay, I'm not really having kind of like a burden that I should supposed to be kind of like entertain those people all the time. No, if those people actually came to the dinner party, then they would hang out, they would talk to each other and things and that. They would build the connection, they would build the community, they would kind of like do something much more better and things and that. I would kind of like focus on kind of like assembly, make the chicken is actually properly cooked or not, or things like that. That's it. Okay, yeah. It's not really that I would kind of like entertain all those 100 people who actually came to my dinner party. No, it's just like they came, they hang out, they talk to each other and things and that, and kind of like build the community. So this is what it is. This is what kind of like actually happened in the YouTube. In the YouTube, either you are like people who actually subscribing, those are kind of like your audience or community. That is one of the really essential thing. That now basically is this thing, every audience is a community, and every community is an audience too. Okay, in the YouTube factor, in YouTube thing. Okay, if you're not really understanding, I'm gonna kind of like give you a couple of scenario. Okay, let's just say I am a YouTuber, I make a video about geopolitics. Okay, and I make a kind of like a video about the Donald Trump is kind of like buying the Greenland. Okay, now it's a very hot topic in today's world. So Donald Trump is kind of like somebody want to buy a Greenland, or kind of like want to attach a Greenland as a kind of like a state of United States. Okay, US. So this is very hot topic. I make this particular video, and I kind of like somebody give the facts and things and that, and I share my opinion in this particular video. Okay, now that video actually seen by 1 million people. Okay, in the 1 million people, let's just say kind of like a 10,000 people who kind of like put the comment. Okay, and in this comment section they kind of like say this thing, no, this is not really good. Like sometimes the Donald Trump is actually buy the Greenland is for some sort of the reason and things and that. Now another person kind of like look at that comment and things like, no, this is not the appropriate, this thing might be kind of like something happened, that's why kind of like somebody that Donald Trump is actually buy the Greenland and things and that. So basically it's this thing, I make a video. In this video I give the opinion regarding about particular subject. Okay, it's just my opinion, it's not a kind of like a things that are kind of like a stable and things and that. Now the people who in the comment, they kind of like talk about that particular topic, they talk about that key, is it kind of like a good to kind of like consider as a kind of like a Greenland as a kind of like a state of the United States or not, or things and that. They kind of like somebody, each other person are kind of like a commenting, and other people are kind of like somebody reply that comment and kind of like somebody thinks and that. So it creates the community. It creates the community. It creates the community, and they are kind of like talking about. They are actually commenting on my video, but they are not commenting on me. They are actually commenting on the kind of like what is actually real thing is actually happening in the world and things and that. They are commenting on that. That is called audience. Okay, like basically if I kind of like somebody create a video regarding about not me but someone else, like geopolitics or maybe history, maybe kind of like maybe science, maybe something else. Okay, Like basically I am such a creator who kind of like a make a video regarding about something else, not about me. Something else, not about me. Now what is actually about me and something else means what? Like as I mentioned, geopolitics, science, education and things and that you kind of like make a video regarding about that. And most of the kind of like a creator are associated in this thing. Okay, yeah. So that's why they build audience as well as they build community as well. They build the community. Example, Dhruv Rathi is a educator video in the Indian context, and he has the biggest community, and those community are associated with the science, technology, lot of things. Like Dhruv Rathi make a video regarding about the science, technology, geopolitics and things and that people subscribe. I also subscribe this thing. So basically I am a community. I am the community of the kind of like a something that ki Dhruv Rathi's videos and things and that. Okay, yeah. So it's a kind of like a community. A Dhruv Rathi, like I am not kind of like a somebody commenting on that ki how Dhruv Rathi looks and things and that. No, yeah, some people kind of like does it. It's not like that, but I'm actually focused on what he was kind of like a say regarding about this particular topic and this and that. That is called community. Okay, yeah. Now, if I'm gonna say I am a BBK Vines, okay, yeah, I am a kind of like a somebody creator. Let's just say I'm a BBK Vine. Who is a BBK Vine? BBK Vine is a kind of like a somebody Bhuvan Bam. He's a Indian creator, by the way, a really good creator. He kind of like make a comedy sketch. Okay, yeah. Now he make a video about the comedy sketch and things and that. Okay, yeah. So basically, when that particular person makes a video about comedy sketch, then what do I supposed to look at? I should supposed to look at his comedy sketch and things and that. Okay, yeah. The way that he performed, the way that he talked, the way that he kind of like do the things and do the comedy jumps and things and that. Okay, it kind of like a feel really entertained for me. Okay, yeah. So in this particular context, I am subscribing the BBK Vine channel. I would not consider as a community. I would consider as a kind of like an audience to the BBK Vine, to the Bhuvan Bam. Why is that? Because the only thing that I am seeing right now is a Bhuvan Bam acting, Bhuvan Bam execution, Bhuvan Bam the way that he execute the punchline and things and that. Okay, yeah. So all the entertainment channel are considered to be a kind of like a somebody audience. All the kind of like a somebody channel who are associated with the kind of like a somebody telling about something, not about themselves. These are kind of like a community based channel. Okay, these are kind of like a things. Do you understand? It's a very simple thing. It's not really that very hard. Okay, a person like basically a song is a kind of like a something required audience. They don't really require community. Okay, because in the song represent the music, art piece. Okay, like basically if you are kind of like a creating content regarding about art, it represent that character, it represent the creator, it represent like people actually talking about the creator, not a kind of like a creator and the craft and things and that. Okay, but the person who is actually talking about something else, like basically geopolitics, science and things and that history, social science and things and that. So basically I'm not talking about that creator, I'm talking about that kind of like stuff that he was talking and things like that. That is called community. Okay, that is a two different term and things and that. Now basically it's really essential to understand that key, if I am a kind of like a content creator, if I'm actually say this thing that I am a content creator, what you will have, you will get audience or you will get community, what you want. Okay, so basically in this particular context, my content is about the photography, graphic designing and kind of like a stuff. And basically it's this thing that key, my audience is my community probably, yeah, because I am not kind of like a create art pieces. It is art pieces that, but that art pieces is not focus on me, is focus on the execution, because I use AI, I use Photoshop to kind of like execute my ideas and things and that. Like basically is this thing that in a simple context that I wanted to explain. When you watch any kind of like YouTube videos, okay, in the YouTube videos, let's just say 100% of the YouTube video, and in the 100% of the YouTube video, that particular person is a kind of like somebody shown his face on the screen more time, okay, that channel, that creator requires audience, okay, because he was kind of like showing his face, okay, he was showing his face. when the creator is actually showing very less face of himself and kind of like only showing the kind of like other things around and things and that is called community required. That the creator requires community, not audience. Okay, yeah. But I think that now I am not a kind of like somebody exactly right into this particular context. Why is that? Because I've seen so many people who kind of like simply talk about something without showing other things, like MKBHD. MKBHD is a kind of like a tech creator, okay, yeah, and he doesn't really need a audience, he need a community, okay. But even if he need a community, still he kind of like a show his face more than mobile phone or any technology or things and that, okay, yeah. So this thing is not actually work. It's like sometimes I don't know, okay, probably it's not wrong with the MKBHD, no, definitely not, but it's a kind of like a things that na keep, I don't know, yeah. Like basically, as I mentioned, is this thing the creativity, and the creativity is a kind of like a so many billion way to execute, billions of way. Even if there is a one simple genre, there are billion way to execute one single genre, billion ways. Okay, yeah, and there are so many genres and things and that. So there is a lot of things. There is a kind of like a so many permutation and combination things and that. Art pieces is kind of like a very like a basically is this thing na ki like a 50 year ago the science should supposed to be kind of like a represent as a kind of like a boring subject and things and that, or history is a kind of like a very boring subject and things and that. But right now people are kind of like somebody executing the same concept with a kind of like a very lighter tone, with kind of like a very funny way and things and that. It kind of like a somebody represent that ki, it kind of like a represent that ki even if your subject is kind of like a very much bore, but you could execute that subject in kind of like a very fun way to kind of like a somebody it easy to understand, it kind of like a feel really better. Like basically tech related question, like a tech related kind of like a stuff, like a Tech Burner is a kind of like a creator. He kind of like a execute his sharing this technology kind of like information in a fun way, okay, yeah. So this is what it is. It's a kind of like a somebody is saying you can mix and match with the kind of like a boring structure subject with the kind of like a fun and things like that, so that you could kind of like immerse or create something new subject which is kind of like a new thing that kind of like a feels really good and things and that. Okay, but it doesn't mean that if you kind of like execute this piece of content that kind of like really looks really good and fresh and things like that, like a tech channel with a fun context, it kind of like a look really good for some other people, but I don't like it. If I wanted to consume a kind of like a tech content, I should supposed to be a little bit of serious and things like that, okay, yeah. Why is that? Because I am 32, okay, yeah. Basically is this thing na ki age is kind of like a very much change according to the time. I'm 32. I'm kind of like a somebody consume such a content that not that much sugary, not that much kind of like a fun all the time. I'm kind of like consuming. I need a detail. I am a tech nerd. Okay, yeah. I do know regarding about the RAM, processor, and things and that. And I wanted to get this information more in detail. Okay, yeah. And if I wanted to consume information more in detail, it shouldn't supposed to be a kind of like a fun. It should supposed to be. It's not really that. But I am not really kind of like somebody wanted to consume that much fun thing that much. If I am the age of 15 or maybe kind of like a teenager, then probably it would kind of like a really helpful for me to kind of like a consume such a content in much more fun way and things and that. But still, age is not associated with that thing. It's a kind of like a mentality, okay. I consume such a content kind of like about little bit of serious, little bit of something that matter to me, little bit of kind of like a getting values and things and that. I like fun is a kind of like a too much sugary for me, okay, yeah. It's good, like I want little bit sweetness but not too much, okay, yeah. So this is what it is. So basically this is every creator has a kind of like a different opinion, different thought process, and different way of execution of every piece of content and things and that, okay. So it is a kind of like a me to realize, it is kind of like a only for me to realize that what kind of like a content that I'm creating, and which kind of like a only audience do I catering or not, or is that my audience or community, okay, yeah. And this is all those things. It's not just a kind of like a subscriber number and things and that. You just have to understand that thing is not just kind of like a certain number would tell every story. No, it's not. You have to understand your execution, your content, the way that you express the people and things and that. Also ask this question that that key, if I make this video, will people gonna watch the video, what kind of like a people will gonna watch the video, and things and that. So yeah, this is what it is. This is what kind of like a difference between the community and kind of like a audience. But I think that now I didn't really give the proper answer regarding about that. I just kind of like explain the kind of like a context. Okay, so question is that, do I want to build a real community, or am I okay with having just an audience? Well, for me and about my kind of like assembly, the content execution, I also, as I mentioned, I create the content regarding about Photoshop, photography, graphic designing, specifically visual storytelling. Okay, yeah. And in this particular context, I need a community, and I'm actually building the community. Okay, yeah. Like I'm not actually kind of like a talking about myself, talking about things and that, but kind of like assembly is this thing that key I'm kind of like creating such a content that associate with something, graphic designing, Photoshop, visual storytelling. So yeah, it is a kind of like assembly community and things and that. In this particular, like this is artifact, it will gonna showcase on the YouTube too. Okay, yeah. And if you are kind of like a watching this thing, it's not a community, it's an audience. Okay, yeah. It's not a community, it's an audience. Okay. So this is what it is. Like if I kind of like create a content regarding about Photoshop, photography, graphic designing, these the people who will gonna watch the video, those people are not audience, those are community people. Okay, yeah. If I am kind of like a talking things regarding about myself and things and what I think about that, it does not really require a community, it required a kind of like a something audience. It required audience. Until and unless someone kind of like a somebody recording the artifact, like basically if I'm kind of like a recording artifact, other people are kind of like a recording artifact in the same way and things and that, then it became the community. But still, it's a lot of things. Okay, as I mentioned, you cannot like describe the people who they are and what they are. Okay, yeah, it's kind of like a matter to you as a creator, but as a kind of like a somebody, you shouldn't supposed to be kind of like a tag your audience, that key they are audience or they are community people. Both are right, both are good, there is no wrong in that particular context. All right, yeah. All right, this is it. I should supposed to be end here. Thank you.